May the 9th, 2019. Guys, you're looking at Solar Dynamics Observatory images of the sun. We've got our two different sunspots. The one in the front today gave us a very strong solar flare. Now, it's not an X flare, but compared to the other flares that we've seen in this solar minimum, it is tied with the second strongest. The reason I'm doing the video is because it seems like we'll have a couple days of coronal mass ejections. Energy builds back up in the sun. As it turns around Earth facing, we start to see more energy releases. Now, we got two sunspots here. Both are different polarities. And what happens, if you've seen the videos where I show the Earth and the sun's magnetic connectivity point, that may be one of the triggers, and it's also kind of, again, I said this before, a new era of science between grand solar minimum and the technology to observe it. Check this out. Now, NOAA out of the center in Boulder, Colorado, picked up this burst. It's called the GOES X-ray flux 1 minute data. And you can see it was a C-class flare, but one of the stronger ones that we've seen before. You start getting into M-class flares and X flares, you go into a different level. But with grand solar minimum and our weakened shields, these flares have an effect. Now, the quakes have been semi-quiet for the last few days. We had the 7.2 a few days ago when we saw that first strong flare from this sunspot. Remember, the speed of light, a photon burst, not a proton. Photon is light energy. Can travel from the sun to the earth at the speed of light, 8.2 minutes. Now, after that burst, we saw two quakes in Japan, 6.1, and this is near Miyazaki, Japan, 23 kilometers deep. The aftershock was deeper at 35 kilometers. But here's what we're looking at. One of the most dangerous places on the Ring of Fire, because remember I tracked a series of X flares that caused the Fukushima quake. As Japan turned towards the sun at just before 3 o'clock that afternoon, we saw the impact of an X flare. We were in solar maximum at that time. And we came in here, and Sendai was where we saw the massive tsunami come in. And guys, the world will never be the same after Fukushima. Birth rates are down tremendously. All the millionaires left immediately. There's still areas that they say you can't go into. There's areas they say you can, but only if you want cancer. They don't tell you that part. But guys, it's polluting the entire Pacific Ocean. And think about that. Millions of gallons of radioactive water pouring in the ocean, Pacific Ocean, out of Sendai. What does the Bible tell us about this? It says 1/3 of the waters. Do you know the Pacific Ocean is 1/3 of the waters will be polluted? That's exactly what they're talking about. So we've seen these events happening. Now, during grand solar minimum, if we start getting an uptick or even a stronger flare than what we saw now with the coronal mass ejection, guys, we're going to be in trouble. The main problem would be quakes and volcanoes, but if the impact is at the right time, you're talking about major blackouts across an entire area. Now, for you guys that have been with me for about 6 years or so, you know that we've covered CERN, and we've shown to where as CERN pulses with high energy, our shields collapse, earthquakes happen, volcanoes happen. You have extreme radiation penetration into the core of the earth. But now SHIELD, CERN, I want to update you on this. It has no beam because it's been shut down since last fall. Still has not reopened. We don't know exactly what it will do. But again, they're expecting, you notice your timestamp, 5/10/19, because they are not in our time zone. As a matter of fact, they're one of the few scientific data research centers that does not use UTC or universal time. So when you're measuring the pulses that we will see at CERN, if and when they crank back up, You will use Swiss time, which is 2 hours ahead of CERN. But guys, they have been down. They may come back up this year. We don't know because we have a new president. We know that the evil people on this planet, the people that thrived off of fallen angel technology, are now not quite so welcome on the open platform of this planet. We never liked it. Obama and Hillary didn't care. They were right along with Merkel and everybody else, just pumping billions into a project to open the veil that God put in place. That veil, guys, has been opened a few times. Remember when Stephen was stoned to death? And he looked and the veil was parted, and he saw what was in heaven. But guys, the fallen angel technology of CERN is very powerful, but it will not win. But right now, it is not up and operating. As soon as it does, if it does, coming back, and it's about time for them to crank up as far as their annual schedule, we will be on top of it. Now, I want to say this also. All of you guys that have come in and got the water filters and the Alexa Pure, the Aquaflow Max that goes into that, we appreciate it. And guys, I feel good about you getting it because it is a lifesaver. Not only that, the survival food, the Alexa Pure water filter, the other survival things that we have on our website, those are the things you need to invest in. If CERN cranks back up this coming year, during solar minimum, and we know the deep state, which is controlled by Satan now, look at the Democrats, they will go all out. So be prepared. It's a heads up. Be safe.